Howdy, gang, and welcome to the first show of 2018. Is this year going to be filled with prosperity and just amazing gaming goodness? Or is it just going to be kind of a rinse and repeat of 2017? I don't know. I can't tell you. All I can tell you for certain is the Daily Dope is in the air. Hi, everyone. Welcome back. It is January 2nd, 2018. Wow. It's a brand new year. Lots and lots of fun stuff, hopefully, in store for us in 2018. And I have been able to call together some news for today because, what was it, last Thursday, there really wasn't any news to really talk about. So at least today we've got a few items that we can talk about a little bit. Before I jump into the news, though, I did want to mention a few quick things. First off, there was no show on Friday. I did plan on having one, and I was going to wish everyone a very happy new year. But you can't leave somebody stranded at O'Hare Airport in sub-zero weather with kids. So I had to go bail somebody out to get them out of there. So unfortunately, there wasn't a show. And I do also want to point out that for the holiday season, around Christmas time and that, my laptop, my main laptop, took a dump. Basically, my hard drive crapped out on me. And I spent a lot of time thinking, okay, it's another Windows update sort of thing that's messing with it, and reinstalling Windows and getting it to come back up. And it finally turns out it's a hard drive failure. It's failing randomly. But I do want to mention to my friends out there in the gaming industry, I lost all of your contacts because I do have a backup laptop, which I'm using now. Has nowhere near the horsepower of the original laptop. And of course, I do the show here using a desktop, but I don't ever really check email on them. So my address book went so long, and I did want to go and, shoot out some emails for friends that I've got in the industry, wishing them a happy holidays and so on and so forth. And of course, I couldn't. So anyway, that's actually another reason why some of the news postings on the Gaming Gang have been a little scant. I am going to try to catch up and get some of the news pieces that I've covered on the Daily Dope up on the Gaming Gang, but the reason is that I was sitting there without the laptop working. And I was devoting all this time to trying to fix it, not realizing that there was a problem with the hard drive. Anywho, as I kid around, it's always something. And I'm sure it's the same with the viewers at home. It's always something. Anyway, moving on to the news. There is a big development for fans of Scythe. And if you are a fan of the game, then you will be very pleased to know that coming in the third quarter of 2018 is going to be the conclusion of Stonemaier Games' popular Scythe series, as Scythe: The Rise of Fenris will arrive. And I have the dope. Empires have riven... okay, let's take a sip here, Jeff. before we jump into the news here, dry mouthed. And no, it's not hot tea. So Mariah Carey would be upset. It's just Diet Pepsi. Anyway, here is the dope from Stonemaier Games. Empires have risen and fallen in the aftermath of the Great War, and Europa stands on the precipice of a new era. The economy is robust, morale is high, and defenses are strong. There are reports from the countryside of strange soldiers with glowing eyes, but they seem distant and harmless. Scythe, The Rise of Fenris, the conclusion to the Scythe expansion trilogy, enables 2 different options for any player count. 1 to 5 if you have Scythe, and 1 to 7 if you have Invaders from Afar. This will include an 8-game campaign. The story of Scythe continues and concludes with an 8-episode campaign. While the campaign includes surprises, unlocks, and persistent elements, it is fully resettable and replayable. It's modular, so you'll have 11 modules. Instead of or after the campaign, the new modules in The Rise of Fenris can be used in various combinations to cater to player preferences. These modules are fully compatible with all Scythe expansions. While the exact nature of the episodes and modules will remain a mystery, some of these components are actually hidden away in secret tuck boxes. The components in this expansion include a detailed episodic guidebook, 13 plastic miniatures, 62 wooden tokens, 2 custom dice, 5 tiles, and 100 or more cardboard tokens. Scythe, The Rise of Fenris is for 1 to 7 players, as I mentioned previously, depending on what edition of Scythe you have. It's for ages 12 and up, and it will play in approximately 75 to 150 minutes and will be available from retailers worldwide in the 3rd quarter of 2018. Since the expansion is on the horizon, it's kind of the far horizon, I do not happen to have any release date outside of Q3 or any MSRP. But I will mention one of the people that I do want to try to touch base with, and who I would have actually wished a happy holidays to, is Jamie over at Stonemaier Games. Jamie Stonemaier. I think it's Stonemaier. To see if he'd like to come on board and do an interview with me one of these days. I do want to point out the interviews are coming. I'm just trying to work out some of the Skype issues that including Skype and a live feed sort of has. Banged out a few of them, but then ran across a couple others over the weekend, over the holiday weekend. So I'm still kind of working on some of the bugs. Anyway, I do want to mention that a classic board game, one that I have to be honest, I never played, but I do remember seeing stores way back when I was in high school, has made a comeback by way of our good friends over at Alderac Entertainment Group. That's right, they are bringing a classic back to the masses, and it's time to put the banana back in Banana Republic, because Junta has returned. And that is always how I was told that word is pronounced, but as you already know, I treat the English language as if it's my second language. Anyway, here's the dope from AEG. The classic game of power, money, intrigue, and revolution. Power. Do you have enough influence and pesos to become the new president of the República de las Bananas? Money. Pesos for bribes. Pesos for assassinations. How will you get enough of those nice little bills to pay for your political wheeling and dealing? With the monarchists on your side, you can surely figure something out. Intrigue. Pay a little money for an assassination to gain a lot more. You need only to guess correctly where the other members of the government are hidden. Revolution! Your assassins may not have been successful, but a group of misguided students in front of the presidential palace convinced you that the current regime is unbearable. Get ready to start a coup and free the República de los Bananas of its corrupt leaders. Will the rebels choose you as their next president, or will you be sent to the firing squad at dawn? Junta is a game of power, intrigue, money, and revolution in a fictional banana republic. It is everything but nice. The players lie, betray each other, embezzle, and assassinate the members of the other families to transfer millions of pesos of foreign aid money to their bank accounts, which are conveniently located in Switzerland. Junta is for 2 to 7 players, ages 14 and up. Obviously, it's for 14 and up because there's a lot of backstabbing and take that in the game. It does play in 2 to 4 hours, although I have to be honest, I don't think I ever remember people telling me it took 4 hours to play that. Don't know. But it does carry an MSRP of $39.99, and it is available, as far as I understand, right now. I believe it just came back out. And I mentioned earlier that I've never played Junta, but I always heard it was pretty cool. It was a pretty cool game. But once again, it's one of those sorts of games. Maybe it's gotten a reputation of being a little more cutthroat than it is, say, like Diplomacy, or, you know, the old story is, oh, you wouldn't play Diplomacy because everybody gets into fights over the game and things like that. Really, it all depends on the kind of people you're playing with, because I've never honestly run across a big problem playing Diplomacy. Sure, sometimes there's some disagreements over rules that'll pop up from time to time, but for the most part, everybody going in knows the sort of game it's going to be, and that you can make promises and then turn right around and break those promises. So as long as you got the right crowd, shouldn't be a problem. But I would be very interested in taking a peek at Junta. Watch, somebody's going to say, no, Jeff, it's Junta. I know it's not pronounced that way. Anyway, got some RPG news for us today, and the revised edition of the Stars Without Number game has arrived, and it is available from Drive-Thru RPG in both print and PDF from, I believe it's Sine Nomine Publishing. I think that's the pronunciation. Regardless, I do have the dope. The year is 3200, and mankind's empire lies in ashes. The jump gates fell 600 years ago, severing the links between the myriad worlds of the human diaspora. Why do they have to throw all these kind of bizarre words in? Damn you, press release! Good thing I know how to pronounce that word. Now the long isolation of the silence falls away as men and women return to the skies above their scattered worlds. Will you be among them once more? Stars Without Number Revised Edition is an old-school inspired game of sci-fi adventure, one built from the ground up to encourage sandbox play and simplify a GM's job in providing it. Familiar mechanics are employed to forge new worlds and explore new possibilities. Guidelines built on long experience used to help a group venture in wholly new directions. Within the full-color pages of Stars Without Number Revised Edition, you'll find backwards compatibility, as the Revised Edition is built to work cleanly with existing Stars Without Number supplements and materials. The new systems slot in smoothly, and you can take or leave them individually as your group prefers, as it should be with any role-playing game. Expanded character creation, with PCs now customized by special talents and character foci. New options for psychic characters, and new ways to make your hero mechanically distinct. Yet the process is still smooth and quick, with a special quick generator spread to create a hero from nothing more than a half dozen die rolls. Refined psionics with more options to distinguish your psychic hero's powers and more flexible choices for their abilities. Tailor your psychic to your concept, whether as a cynical gunslinging brain guard or a psychic healer from a world of austere psionic scholars. Improved starship combat with decisive roles for every member of the party. Build your own starships with the included system and employ new hardware and new starship mods to make your ungainly crate the fastest contraband runner this side of the Veil Nebula. Also includes new systems to support additional types of play, including rules for hacking, remote drones, I should say, and expert technical modification of gear and starships. Upgraded tools for sandbox sector creation with 40 new world tags to help define a GM's stellar creations, guides for adding additional system points of interest, and material to help a GM define the interesting traits of the worlds they create. These tools aren't just a clump of random tables. They're a framework to boost your own creativity and help you make fast, good, playable material for your game. Augmented adventure creation guidelines. Aside from 100 piping hot adventure seeds that mesh smoothly with the world creation tools, Stars Without Number Revised Edition also includes content to help you turn your vague ideas into a playable evening's adventure. Guidelines on challenges, rewards, and complications in play are all aimed toward the working GM, the man or woman who's not just theorizing their adventures, but actually responsible for making something fun for the whole group. There's also tools for creating aliens, virtual intelligences, and hostile human foes, with guidelines for handling potentially hostile encounters and creating the kind of fearsome xenobeasts that can challenge the doughtiest explorer. Or perhaps you want to be an alien or robot. You'll find the tools for that in Stars Without Number Revised Edition. Faction rules for handling the background warring and intrigues of hostile groups. Need to add life and motion to your stellar sectors? Sprinkle in a few factions to make news for the PCs to respond to, or use the rules to handle the colonies, spy agencies, mercenary companies, or other enterprises your heroes establish. So leap forward, brave adventurer. The stars await you, and the wild glories of an untamed sky. Wow, that was loads of info, and to be honest, that's only about half of the press info for the new revised edition. I do want to point out that the 324-page full-color core book is available in PDF at DriveThru RPG for $19.99, with a variety of print-on-demand options as well. Plus, you know I'm always keeping an eye out for some cool freebies or to save you money. Keep in mind, as with past Stars Without Number books, there's also a text-only edition, which is absolutely free. That is right. It is free. And as I mentioned with all role-playing games that are available on DriveThru RPG, I simply ask if you're a fan of the Gaming Gang or if you're kind of digging the daily dope, if you're going to be buying some PDF RPGs, please visit thegaminggang.com. Click on one of our banner ads. Yeah, they're ads. One of our banners for one of the DriveThru sites before you make your purchase, because we get a little bit of that purchase. And you'd be really surprised how far those little bits add up and help keep the Gaming Gang around. I also have another piece of news that I actually ran across last week. And I was pretty interested in it. I was like, oh, this is cool. But I couldn't really find a whole lot of news about it, because I found it from a secondary source, right? I didn't get it from the company itself. So I did reach out to Gray Fox Games to learn more about an upcoming Kickstarter they have, because fans of Gray Fox Games' Champions of Midgard, their series of games there, are going to be very interested to learn that there's a standalone game that's set in the same world that's coming to Kickstarter in the next few months. That's right. Now you'll be able to become Reavers of Midgard. And here's the dope from Gray Fox Games. Since 2015, players around the world have battled for glory in Champions of Midgard with friends and family. They've taken down trolls and sailed across the seas to fight epic monsters with Viking warriors at their side. Both of 2017's expansions, Valhalla and Dark Mountains, have gotten amazing reception. We love creating games in this world, and we'd like to introduce you to a game you'll be hearing a lot more about in 2018, Reavers of Midgard. Reavers of Midgard is a single worker placement game set in the Midgard universe. Designed by J.B. Howell with art by Yaroslav Radecki. Sorry, I know I got that completely wrong. In the game, players will recruit veteran fighters, draft Viking warriors, upgrade their ships, and sail off to raid villages and keeps in order to bring home the spoils of battle. Oh, and don't forget about that pesky troll who's wreaking even more havoc on the village this time. We expect to launch Reavers of Midgard on Kickstarter sometime in the middle of 2018. We'll be releasing more details of the game, and you'll want to stay tuned. So, of course, I don't have any word yet on exactly when the crowdfunding project is going to launch for Gray Fox Games, but as soon as I have more info, so will you. My final news piece, I don't really need to kind of show off images and things like that, but Gen Con revealed that they're doing away with the Sunday family package, the family pass package that they used to have. And, you know, I personally, I don't have children, so it wasn't something that would affect myself. So I did get a press release from Gen Con saying that they've been finding that most people who go on the Sunday for the family day don't actually, there usually aren't 4 people as part of that group, because that's what the family package for Sunday was good for. So they decided they were going to do away with it, and what they're going to do is they're going to offer single badges for Sundays at a discounted rate of $15 for the day. Now, I'm sure quite a few people out there are going, because if I remember correctly, my best friend Elliot Miller, who, you know, of course, I mentioned constantly on the show, who operates voiceofe.com. In the past, when we've been at Gen Con, a lot of times his family will go down to Indianapolis with him, and they're really not at the con, but they're, you know, they're kind of having a little vacation. And Elliot's always picked up the family pass for Sundays. And if memory serves me correctly, it was like $45, I think, 45-ish, somewhere in that vicinity. So I understand that. I'm sure there's going to be people out there who are going, oh, great, now it's going to be more expensive to bring, you know, the wife and the kids and things like that. One thing that Gen Con has pointed out is they are raising the age for free admission on Family Sunday. So it's going to be children 10 and under will be able to attend for free. So that's pretty cool. I think that should probably even things out a little bit. I don't know. I never know what's going to set people off and make them upset. I couldn't tell you. But so yeah, so Gen Con is doing away with their Sunday family pass and replacing it with a specially priced $15 day pass for Sunday only, and children under 10 and under will be able to attend for free. Anyway, speaking of conventions so far for 2018, I almost said 2017. It's only the second day of the year. I got to get used to that whole 2018, 2018 thing. The Gaming Gang will be in attendance for sure at 3 cons that we'll be covering. And it will be Origins Game Fair, San Diego Comic-Con, and Gen Con. So those are the 3 that I do have plans for us to attend, because Greg, my brother Greg, comes along as the cameraman. And a lot of times Elliot and I will team up if it's just the 2 of us. to I'll be his cameraman while he's doing an interview, and then I'll be he's the cameraman for my interviews, so on and so forth. So those are the cons that I know for sure that I'm going to be attending, or the gaming gang is going to be attending. I do want to try Adepticon. I want to reach out to Adepticon because that's actually here in the Chicago area. I'm going to reach out to see about maybe covering that. Little Wars is still around for miniatures gamers out there and historical gamers. I have never had an opportunity to check out Little Wars. I would like to. And I would love to go back to Consim World Expo when that comes around in the spring out in Tempe. But I don't know. I don't know if I can pull it off. Because you got to remember, folks, I don't do these Kickstarters that pull in thousands of dollars that, pay for travel and all this other stuff. Anyway, so those are the cons. Let's see. Anything else cooking? A couple of mailbag items. I don't know if we necessarily need to tackle those today, because one of them is actually Wargame related. So tomorrow is Wargame Wednesday here on the Daily Dope. And I should point out in just a minute, I will be doing an unboxing of Shahrazad from Osprey Games. It's a small footprint game, but looks kind of interesting, kind of cool. Also, obviously, I never had an opportunity to go get a haircut again. Always up to something. But what's coming up this week? I have tomorrow for Wargame Wednesday. I am going to real quickly show off the expansion, the supplement. Sorry, getting a lot of glare with the plastic here. For Battles of the Warrior Queen, which is an expansion for Caesar Conquest of Gaul. It's a module. GMT's calling it a module. Gotta be completely truthful with you. I don't actually own Caesar Conquest of Gaul. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do like an unboxing. It's really not in a box. Guess I can't say it's an unboxing. But I'm going to show this off tomorrow. And then this is going to be our first giveaway for 2018. And I'll make it super easy. I'll make it really easy. Just probably YouTube subscriber or follower on Twitter kind of thing to make it pretty easy to get this. So I'm going to take a peek at that, but ooh yeah, I'm pumped about this one. I'm going to unbox Pendragon, another title from my good pals over at GMT Games. Sweet. It is the latest game in the Coin series, the Counter-Insurgency series. I think this is volume 8. It is volume 8. And it is the fall of Roman Britain. Looks very, very cool. Looks pretty interesting. Obviously enough, it's really not counterinsurgency, but it will probably utilize some of the tried and true. I don't want to say mechanics, because the mechanics for the Coin series do change from game to game. Concepts, I guess we'll say some tried and true Coin concepts. And I almost get it, you're going to get a better look at this tomorrow, but I almost get the sense that this might be a really good introductory game for the Coin series, kind of like Cuba Libre is. So very, very cool. So that's tomorrow. And then on Thursday, even though Thursdays are, I'm trying to do RPG stuff on Thursdays. Don't really have a lot of RPG stuff to actually show off at the moment. PDFs are super tough. I don't know. It's still something I'm playing around with. It's just a lot of work putting together these like slides and that. I don't know if I want to do like 20 slides to have rotating as I'm talking. I think that would look weird. Anyway, I'll get to that in just a second. But I've got Ancestry, which is from the kind folks at Calliope Games. So I'm going to unbox this on Thursday. And this game looks pretty neat because each of the players is going to use tiles to create the most interesting family tree. So that looks pretty cool. I showed off Shutterbug last week, and unfortunately I didn't get a chance to get a game in of that yet. I was hoping to over the weekend. There's a lot of crazy stuff going on. And then I went to a New Year's Eve party that I was invited to bring games, but I was kind of told, don't bring like gamer games. So I brought sort of party games, which really I'm not all that, super keen on a vast majority of party games, but I brought some that I really like. So I brought Vegas Wits and Wagers, and I brought Word on the Street. So, and then originally on last Friday, when I was going to do a show, I was going to review Welcome to Centerville, another title from GMT. And Friday is kind of family fun day. And I'm going to stick to that. I'm going to stick to doing the review of this on Friday. If I can get some Shutterbug in, I might double up, do a couple of reviews. Kind of make up for some of the lost time without having the show. And then, I want to get some reviews, some more reviews for you guys to kind of kick back with me. But I do want to mention, before I jump into the unboxing, that I have actually been reaching out to some companies that I haven't actually kind of talked with in the past, or maybe years ago we were kind of in contact as far as getting more news, number one, out in front of you guys, and plus up on thegaminggang.com. And I've been getting a lot of very, very positive feedback. And I was honestly very surprised because game companies constantly get inundated from people saying, we want to do reviews. Hey, have you seen the 5 reviews we've got up on our website? Yeah, we're reviewers. Send us your stuff. And it can be really irritating, I'm sure. And we've already discussed this in the past, that, a lot of companies, they don't set aside a ton of review copies to be sending out, because that cuts down into the whole bottom line profit thing. Plus, I don't think a lot of people realize usually a print run on a game is, especially smaller companies, you're talking 500 units, 700 units. You can't take 100 of those and put them to the side, or 50 of them and put them to the side. So I was very, very pleasantly surprised that the handful of companies that I've reached out to have all gotten right back to me, and they're like, "Oh yeah, man, come on, let's try to work some stuff out." At least even getting news. But there is a role-playing game supplement provider, adventure provider, that we should be seeing some cool stuff that I will actually have on camera for you to take a look at. So anyway, just want to say, get ready for a lot of new companies that the Gaming Gang hadn't worked with in the past, or just, a little bit in the past. All right, so anyway, let's move on to the unboxing. And this is kind of a cool looking little game from Osprey Games. And it is for, let's put it up there. I have this way zoomed in because this is a pretty small box, as you see here. So I've got this way zoomed in, and it's Shahrazad. And it is kind of a tile laying game, and it is for 1 or 2 players, I believe. So I'm kind of interested in that whole solitaire aspect of it. And from my understanding, you're actually laying down tiles to kind of tell a story. So I thought that sounds pretty neat. And I gotta say, the Lost Expedition, we've just been having a blast with that. I have actually, now it's one of these games I have to keep in the car. Yep, it's a game I have to keep in the car. There's a few titles that always remain in the car because I might be over at my brother's house and my nephew Cameron, and sometimes he's got friends over. They're like, "Hey, do you have?" And they never have the title of a game right. Never have a title right, but it's like, "Hey, You got that jungle game where everybody dies? That's what I was asked this weekend. Hey, do you have that jungle game where everybody dies? I was like, yeah, it's in the car. So it's a good way to pass time because it has been frigidly cold in the Chicago area. And I'm sure people all around the U.S. are in the midst of this really, really nasty cold snap. I believe yesterday we were looking at, I think overnight we got down with the wind chill. We got down to 40 below. Yowza. It was funny. Last week I was telling the story about how when I originally bought Car Wars, how I was out. And it was, I think with the wind, it was 80 below. It was one of the coldest days in Chicago history. And I was out and about as a teenage kid riding buses, going to the game store, buying games. Yep. Just in case, figure I'll toss on the old reading specs. Because I actually, the way the camera is set up, the game box is actually kind of further away from me. All right, says, Shahrazad must tell her tale to survive the night. But maybe you can help. Working together or alone, you must tell the best story you can in just 22 tiles. There are riches in store for those who earn the favor of the king. But if you tell your tale in the wrong order, life will get very difficult indeed, or possibly lack of life. Each beautifully illustrated tile features a different fairy tale from around the world. Shahrazad features 22 story tiles and 2 scoring tiles, as well as solo and cooperative rules. This is available right now from Osprey Games, and it carries a family-friendly price tag of $20. Let's get this open here. Let's take a look. So, of course, those familiar with the Arabian Nights know the story of Shahrazad. Shahrazad. Damn it, that's it. It's Shahrazad, stupid Jeff. I'm standing here, or sitting here, and I keep pronouncing it wrong. Duh. Oh, man. Yeah, see? That's why this is live. You get to sit there and be like, yeah, there's a reason why it's called the Daily Dope, Jeff. Because you're a dope. That is part of the reason why that's the name of this show. Kind of like the Daily News, the Scoop, it's the Dope. And then Dummy Jeff. So there you have it. Okay, so it is a game designed by Y-O-U. I believe this is a Japanese design. Seeing a lot of Japanese designs hitting the States. Seeing some from Osprey. We've got the Big in Japan line from Alderac, from our pals over at AEG. So, Sakura Arms, we actually got to play a little bit this weekend. Not enough to do a review yet. Interesting. It is very interesting. Okay, so. And the illustrations are by Katori Nico. So it's showing us all in the kingdom were scared of the king, but Shahrazad. Yeah. I'm never going to live that one down. Shahrazad had a plan. Well, you know what? Is that how it... I guess that's how it's spelled. I don't know. I'll tell him some stories, she said with a smile, and so our tale began. It's a game where one player will work alone or 2 players will work together to tell the best stories and impress the king. So we've got how to play. So it's giving us a tile breakdown here. So it's showing us we've got a tile number, tile's color with a matching symbol, and the other numbers which share this tile color. Okay. It says how to play. Put the 2 scoring tiles to one side and shuffle the story tiles. It may be easier to shuffle half the tiles at a time than mix the 2 stacks, or it's possible if you've got an extra draw bag Let's put the tiles in draw bag, Crown Royal bag. For years, I have kept all my gaming dice in Crown Royal bags, and I do not drink Crown Royal. But I've had plenty of Crown Royal bags over the years. Okay. This is placing a tile. So it's giving us a little diagram, how to place a tile, how to replace a tile, how to score. And then it says round 2 setup. Then the scoring tiles. Check your score after 2 rounds to reveal the king's verdict. And it can go anywhere from that didn't make any sense to truly wonderful. I think it's pretty much that didn't make any sense and off with your head if we are sticking with the Arabian Nights. Oh. These are big, chunky tiles here. Storage box. And then we sort of try to figure out which fairy tale from around the world this might be. Now, I was going to say the Little Prince, but he's got a sword, so that wouldn't make a whole lot of sense. So we've got Justice. The Hanged Man. Well, that's Jack and the Beanstalk. Temperance. I'm guessing maybe Little Red Riding Hood? The Devil. Well, we know that's from Little Red Riding Hood. Just that big bad wolf. The Tower. There's Rapunzel's hair. The Star. Don't know. I honestly do not know what that would be. The Moon. And the Sun. This artwork is really nice. And these tiles are very thick. So you would actually, I made the recommendation of putting them in a draw bag. You'd probably need a fairly good sized draw bag. Judgment. The World. And of course, that's Shahrazad. Jeez. I can't get over that. Hey, I said it before. I treat English as if it's my second language. Got Death. Obviously, that must be from a Japanese fairy tale. This is the, this looks like this is one of the scoring tiles here. So you got the 2-player scoring tile. And you've got the solitaire player scoring tile here. Cool. The Fool. Hey, what? It's not a picture of me? Huh. Surprising. Not sure. The Magician. I could see where kids would really dig this artwork. High Priestess. The Empress. Taking a guess at Snow White. What do you think? Probably Snow White? It's my guess. The Emperor. The Hierophant. That's Pinocchio. The Lovers. Beauty and the Beast. The Chariot. Yeah, little Puss in Boots. Strength. The Hermit. Sleeping Beauty? That's my guess. I'm guessing Sleeping Beauty. Wheel of Fortune. And obviously that's not Vanna White. And then, oh, here we go. This is the other scoring tile. Telling you up, check your score after 2 rounds to reveal the king's verdict. As I mentioned, it's either that didn't make any sense, all the way to truly wonderful. Then it shows for 2 players. So it's you two were telling the same tale. Oh, were you two telling the same tales? That's a lousy score. And then the best is I'm not crying, you're crying. Neat. I'm certain that this has a sort of puzzle aspect to it. So we've got the tiles. Slip these back in here. So we got 22 of those. And we've got the 2 scoring tiles. A little piece of paper in there. And then we've got the rule book, which is what, 6 pages? Yep. Well, 7 pages. Cool. I like where I can play the solitaire, so I can check this out without having to wait around for other players. I can bust this out and start playing it. That's how I started to learn the Lost Expedition. So I played it solitaire because there are solitaire rules for it. And that is what we find when we take everything from Shahrazad outside the box. As I mentioned previously, it is available right now from Osprey Games, and it carries an MSRP of $20 even. So, kind of quick show today. Wow, only about 45 minutes. So, part of it is the news. There's not a ton of news. I like to spend about 30 minutes a day just kind of chatting a little bit about some of the news, and even like geek culture news. There wasn't anything really popping out that really jumped out at me. I was like, oh yeah, I want to get that out. I do have to say that it was pretty funny. I want to say it was John Kovalik, who does the artwork for Munchkin. Had a pretty good crack on Twitter last week. Last week was Stan Lee's birthday. I think he was 95. I think he was turning 95. I was like, wow. And John Kovalik or however it's pronounced had posted a tweet saying, yeah, it was actually Jack Kirby's birthday, but Stan was taking the credit for it. I thought that was pretty funny. So anyway, all right, so that is the Daily Dope for today. Tomorrow's show should be much more jam-packed because we do have the Queen Boudica expansion for Caesar. Isn't it Caesar Conquest of Gaul? I believe that's what it is. It's not right in front of me, so I can't tell you. So we're going to have that module. We're going to take a look at that. And then, of course, we are going to have the unboxing for the new coin game, Pendragon. So that's going to be pretty cool, too. So I would take a guess tomorrow we're probably going to run about 90 minutes as usual. Anyway, when you're not watching the Daily Dope, be sure to visit thegaminggang.com for the latest in gaming news, reviews, comics, movies, TV. Well, by now you know the drill. Get your geek on at thegaminggang.com. Here's hoping you stay warm out there on a very, very frigid January 2nd. And I will be back tomorrow. I will see you then. And until then, thanks for watching.